Sorry about that. Should hopefully be on. It's not appearing on my YouTube feed, though. There we go. Finally! Well, in the event that I was not able to reach you guys before, my name is Jordan, also known as JMonster, and today we're going to be playing on Silmarillion Total War. This is our closed alpha build, just because that's expedient. I will be setting up some games on our open build that's available to everybody in the coming week. Unfortunately, I won't be able to do it this week because I will be otherwise engaged. But yeah, so we're playing on our closed alpha, which means you're going to be able to see the House of Fingolfin, some new maps, and some other cool stuff in the stream as well. So we're going to be playing on the Moors of Nibelung, which is a new map, or perhaps an old map with a new name. Not sure. And I'm going to be playing as Doriath, because I can, and because I like Doriath. Yeah, engaged. I'm going to be outside. I'm going to be going surfing this weekend, actually. So I won't be able to host any streams and do stuff like that, but that's fine. You guys will be getting lots and lots of replays for the weekend that I'm gone. I'm planning on uploading at least 5 videos. So yeah, you'll get caught up real quick, don't worry. Quickly give everyone the money that they are asking for. Yeah, no, I'm not getting engaged. That would be a terrible mistake. But hopefully I should be able to pull enough people in here so we can have a nice entertaining 2v2. Bam! There's Scouts of Entertainment. Perfect. Give Scouts his money. Oh, looks like we're gonna do an FFA. Exciting! Nice way to kind of mix it up a little bit. We don't do too many of those on stream. So, I have no idea who we'll be fighting. It's likely that we'll have a pick of 2 different people. So, we should build our army around the possibility of having to fight just about anybody. Something that can take on all takers. Guthalim are a nice thing to have. I'm going to take a couple of them. Axguard are always important. And then we'll kind of build our army around those core troops there. So some more X-Men of the Girdle. That's a good thing to have. 3 of them is potentially very frustrating for your enemies. Lots and lots of Spear Host. That eats up our money pretty quick though, doesn't it? Maybe necessary to have. Detachment could be useful. Gives us a little bit of anti-cavalry power. 1 mounted company should be enough. And then from here, bring bring ourselves a few wardens. And then a detachment, and that'll leave us with some excess money. And there, definitely do that. Increase the attack of everyone here. damn. Not quite enough. That's okay. That'll do. It's a nice little mid-tier heavy army. We'll see how that goes for us. Let's see what some of our opponents are looking like. So with the House of Feanor, lots of the melee cavalry will be useful in thwarting. Easterlings can be scary, especially against our mid-tiers, but, you know, having the axe throwers will be helpful to deal with some of the polearms, and that'll go far against the Philothrum as well. So we do have some options here. We have a decent amount of ranged firepower as well. The Wardens don't exactly have a ton of ammunition, but they do have some, and the Rangers are very sticky indeed. They've actually got some really good damage. Plus, we have the Kuthalim. And they're just sexy. They're multiple HP, pretty heavy armor, but what they also have going for them is the fact that they can't be stunned. They are relentless, so that's a really nice thing. And their arrows are armor-piercing, so against some of the Feanor Knights, that's a really good counter. Then our infantry line is not as formidable as it usually is, but we have a lot of like holding and staying power, and we've got, of course, our Axe Guard. And with 14 damage, they're pretty scary. That brings them up to about the shock damage of some other like high-tier swordsmen, like the two-handed swordsman from Gulfin, I think, clock in at about 15, so they're up there. Let's do that. See you, Dustin. You have a good one, man. I'm not going to be on for long. It's super late on your side. Well, it's good to see you. Calvin, thanks for coming out, man. I'll pop this into a few different places. Oh, Jesus, we're already in. Wars of Nib and Noog. This is a new one. Yeah, this is definitely one of our newer maps. I don't think I've actually played in this one before. It certainly does have some very interesting terrain. Now, I believe that we can get over this way, so maybe that's something that we should do. Now, we could, if we want to be super sneaky, attack from basically two directions here. So, you know what? Why don't we do that? I kind of like that idea. I'll put most of these spearmen out here in front. Now we'll put the majority of them, because I think we're going to need them. Oops. Also put a good deal of our bowmen here. I'll be able to pop these guys into loose. There we go. So I think the best thing that we can do, and we certainly are equipped to do it as Doriath, is push them to come to us. And we can do that by stacking a lot of ranged units here. We're also going to back that up with some formidable axemen. our very own bodyguard unit, just to kind of keep things a little bit stable. So we have some decent reserves here. I think what we'll need in order to not get shut down like totally and like bottlenecked hard is we'll need some of our mid-tier, or rather our mid-range skirmishers over here as well. I'll put some line-holding units here. I think I'll pretty much account for everybody. No, we have some warriors of Region here as well. We might split them. I don't want them in two. And we'll have these guys, but we're going to hold them back just a little bit. Because they are arrow magnets, but they're also really strong. Now, obviously, the big scary thing is that we get shot from the flank, which is kind of a risk I think we might have to take, honestly. But for that reason, maybe we should move the warriors over here a bit, just sort of preemptively. Hopefully the pathfinding isn't crazy. It could sometimes be a problem on maps like this. I'm pretty sure this is crossable, so if we have to fall back, then we will be able to. But I want to just go on the offensive with Thoriath. Alright, let's go ahead and we'll start up. Just buy one unit from every roster faction currently and win. Hi there. I'm not sure how to say your name, but I'll just call you SW because that's easier. I'm doing well, actually. I've been doing really well. How you doing, man? Oh, jeez. It started, eh? If we're able to shoot those salamandrines. Doesn't look like it. Huh. Let's take a look at what our ally has. Or what our enemy here has. I think I really do want to kind of like take this hill here. So I think the thing to do, we can break these guys off like so it's a bit easier. And we can bring them up here. Maybe a little bit like so. And all of you guys can quickly move over in this direction. And this way we can at least get out of here and we'll be away from the Philothron, who are looking like they're going to shoot us to bits. Yeah. Definitely getting shot from the rear there. That sucks. Let's see what they do in return. So he's got lots of the mid-range skirmishers. His cavalry is limited, which is good, because our cavalry is also quite limited. We've got a couple of options here. So what I will probably do is break off the spear host here, as well as these guys. We're going to send them together around this way. And the rest of group 2 will continue. No, they should probably go around this way too. So he's trying to escape. That's just, you know, not good. We don't want him to escape. Come on, boys, run. We can maybe get ourselves a nice little hill advantage here, which would be lovely. Can bully these guys a little bit. We'll get a nice little like rear charge here against them. Don't think they'll be able to escape. But we definitely don't want to turn our backs to them, because that's how you lose a lot of your cavalry. So the only thing that we can do now is push forward. Good, 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 good. Shoot in the rear of these guys. Oh, you guys are not running when you should be running. Oh, that's okay. I'm going to pull them out. We'll get them out of there. We are going to lose some, but we managed to take a little bite out of the Salamandrine Guard, which is nice. We're going to reform them over this direction. Get them quickly turn around. Have them begin to fire. And you guys can begin to push over here. Bring these spearmen around this direction. Another little toss there. Good for them. Have them charge and draw these guys back a bit so they don't get tied down. Okay, now they're starting to turn around and face us. You guys can move here to block. Yeah, they need to pick on the Sons of Ulfang for sure. That's their new job. Now we need to block them apparently. Pin them down at least. Good, good, good. Shoot at those halberdiers for sure, since they're exposed. And get these guys into the Marauders. And company are doing okay so far. Got here, we got Axe Guard. Let's bring the Axe Guard forward for sure. These guys tossing their stuff. Need to do it a bit faster if they're able. Nice, we've managed to get in there. Let's continue to pressure the Salamandrines. You can do that as well. I think these guys need to come over this direction. Yeah, they're doing just fine so far. Oh yeah, we're slaughtering these guys. This is good. That's a really important unit for them. And to lose them that way is obviously not going to do anything nice for them. Let's move up this way, actually. And once you guys are done, one more volley there. Charge you in. You guys can do the same. And now's a good time to bring some of my archers over here. Uh-oh. These guys have gotten into the halberdiers, which is obviously not good. So we'll draw them back now. We'll draw them over here. These guys can quickly be mobilized. Block them off there. And we're in a decent position so far. I could be able to bring some extra troops down in this way. Have these guys shoot the pillagers of Himring. Maybe we can get like a good rear charge here on some of these guys. So Viking are doing their best. Let's pull them out. They may start to rout here a little bit. But they are kind of being overwhelmed. These guys need to hurry. We'll be able to roll these guys up now. Warriors here are doing reasonably well. Let's have them charge into those marauders from the rear. Charge off on those marauders. Yeah, they didn't like that. Should be able to get them out of there. And you're starting to kind of like mob them on this side. I need you guys to be a little bit quicker. Come for a nice rear charge here. Okay, so they're beginning to rout. That's not good. Managed to escape with them. Continue to shoot these guys. Rear charge these fellows here. And pull our cav back out again. Don't want them to get caught on the chieftain's honor guard. This is where our cav might die, but they do have 2 chevrons, so they might hold the line just a little bit more. Kuthalim accidentally used all their ammunition on something stupid, which is my fault. I wasn't paying attention. But we are kind of slaughtering them over here. Let's go into the rear of those wardens now. Let's try and get our cav out of there. I'll be able to pull my cav through here. Just escape. Just quickly enough. No, not if they stop and quit moving like idiots. Let's bring them over this way. See if we can escape from there. These guys might be able to shoot those marauders. Yes, we can really make them pay on this side for sure.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Go for a nice rear charge here, and that's going to draw off a lot of his cavalry, because obviously nobody likes to get rear charged. So we're going to feint a bit. We're going to change target immediately. Get a good rear charge there. We'll pull them out right away. Yeah, see, he thought we were going to go for the wardens, but we weren't. Works out real nice for us. Go, and that'll pin them down, and now they have to fight with our warriors in melee, which isn't what he wants the salamandrians to be doing. We're going to charge now with a renewed vigor, and I think we've done basically all the damage that we can do on this side. But like, we've done well here. This has drawn off a lot of his units. They're not exactly winning either. We managed to destroy the Sons of Ulfang, which is huge. So now we're definitely winning on this side, so we might be able to pull these guys out and go for a rear charge over here, because that seems to be where they're winning, and that's where their halberdiers are, so I want to get behind them if I can. And his calf's getting pulled out, so if we're careful, we can use ours if we save them here, and I think they might all die, but that's fine. I still got 2 of them. No, I've got 1. Now his lines here are starting to fall apart a bit. I think we could conceivably commit our bodyguard here. Let's move for a better surround on these guys too. These guys will be here to block and punish them. These guys can go for the full surround. We can go for a nice little cheeky charge here at the same time that our bodyguard joins the fray. So let's do that. A little bit of infantry razzle dazzle. And this might actually be enough to rout off this whole wing here. Yeah, see, this is what we wanted. We wanted to bait them into that charge so that our axemen could get in there and use their charge. And that's not going to be fun for the salamandrians. Hopefully we kill off a few of them that way. There we go. These guys are breaking. Let's go for another charge there against those halberdiers. Where are my axemen at? Let's see exactly what he wants to go after. Probably these units. That's okay, because we can pull them out. We might be able to corner this unit now. These guys are going to take some damage, which is to be expected. We'll just have everyone charge at these dudes. These Axe Guard are holding them up real nice. Yeah, the Salamandrian are now down to 5. Should be able to now bring these guys over here. Those halberdiers are breaking. It's the halberdiers we really want to kill, though. Bring these guys forward, and we'll shore this up with our general. And everyone else here can just come in and contribute numbers. That's their job from now on. Our other Axe Guard are through. These guys have broken those Wardens, which is nice. Although I think the Wardens are already broken. Now we can bring these guys forward too. And have them just chase them down. Some spearmen here who came back from routing. We're going to push these guys all the way to the edge here. And now while they're doing this, we'll break off out of this fight, go to surround the remainder of their infantry. We'll bring these guys through over this direction. Bring our bodyguard over here to surround them. And we'll kill off their infantry, and all he can do is just try to like spitefully charge at spearmen and stuff. Because he knows he's done.
The enemy are badly bloodied. They have lost half their men.
Bring these Axe Guard in here, and you guys come around this way. And I'll bring you over here. We'll just mass attack everyone against these guys. Finish them off. All he's really got to charge into here is spearmen, so... Hopefully this should be enough. Yeah, I don't think these salamandrians are going to be walking out of this. No, down they go. So that's our fight one. How would the Philothrum done against the Sons of Feanor? Ooh. I don't know if we can actually beat the Sons. Well, depends on how well Scouts does. He's definitely got some troops here that could be a problem. Troops over this way. It's a decent win. I can take a look at chat now. Wonder how the other side of the fight is going. Well, now we know. See you, Calvin. He's probably already gone, but bye, buddy. Let's see. This is a tightly contested game, but I think... I don't know, he's got the spears. I think Scouts might be doomed. I think that's the way that this is going. And there's still a lot of cav and a lot of infantry, but I think that Scouts will probably... If he wins, it'll be like a creek by kind of thing. It's time for Demetrius to accept his defeat and die with some dignity. Let's put an end to this. All my stuff crashing into him all at once should be enough to finish this. Says that victory is a distinct possibility, but it's been saying that for the Easterlings the whole time, and we've handily defeated them, so it should be easy peasy from here on out for them. What do I have left? A couple of decent units of axe guards, some two-handed spears. I got my bodyguards, which is in decent shape. I got a lot of spearmen and other stuff. Yeah, this will not be an easy fight if I have to fight all that Sons of Feanor infantry plus their cavalry, so hopefully scouts can take them down a peg. Yeah, I don't know. I just don't think we got it in us to beat all of this. Plus he's got all that Requendi Magloro. I think we might just be doomed. What do we do over here though? Ooh, yeah, we chewed up those guys. Like the unit we had that routed probably ended up with a few hundred kills from that unit alone, which is excellent. Just gotta kill his general now. I think the big thing will be getting over here before this is over. That's kind of what we'll have to do. I don't know if we can though. I think this is already about to. This is gonna finish in the next few seconds here. Just gotta finish these spearmen. It's the only thing left. And like the halberdiers and stuff. Chieftain's honor guard's broken. These guys will need to be. Pull them out of here too. Okay, so they're broken now. Down to our axe guard and our important two-hand units to see us through this fight. Yeah, we're pretty well shot otherwise. Like, I don't got much left. Really individuals here and there. Extra axe guard, we'll put him here. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's see. Hopefully they can kill off some of those knights. No, it doesn't look like it. Yeah, it's not many Requendi Magloro, but it's enough. There's like 8 or so of them. That'll have to do. Okay. Let's move it up. We're warmed up and winded for the most part, so like we're not going to be exhausted by the time we get there. Whereas the same can potentially not be said for these two, because they've been fighting for longer than we have, I think. He's just got to hold on. With the Orion Ephidune there, as long as he's got his general, he might be able to hold on long enough for us to crash into the rear of the Sons of Feanor, and that's really our only option for winning. But in the meantime, I can look at chat. And there's nothing going on in chat. So, if you guys have any questions about the mod, maybe this is your first time seeing it. I do link this in various places every time I stream. So we do get the odd new person. So if you're not familiar with the mod for Silmarillion Total War, I can tell you that it's for Medieval 2. One of the other frequent questions I get is, do you have to pay to play the mod? And no, you don't, and you never will. But yeah, it's set in the first stage of Middle-earth, so you're going to see a lot of elven factions. We will eventually be prepped for a campaign, but we're also going to be focused on our multiplayer for the time being, since that's what we can do. Campaign is much larger time investment, so yes, there will be a campaign eventually, and yes, it will include a ton of units that aren't available in multiplayer, because they're both tailored to a different experience, right? Oof. Those nobles of Balar, though, they put up a fight for sure. Just gotta get over here faster. Hopefully more of those Lancers start to die off. Oh, that's like a full company of Defenders of Aglon. We're in trouble. We're in big time trouble. We've got to get over here and do something before this all falls apart. But I think the Sons of Feanor are going to take this one. Take my GoPro when I go surfing tomorrow. Maybe actually I will take the GoPro. It's kind of fun. It's just gonna be a lot of me falling over. I'm not like an expert surfer by any means, but I'm getting pretty good. Oh yeah, they're getting crushed here. I just wasn't able to reform fast enough. What does he have left for infantry? I could probably beat his infantry with my own. My axe guard and stuff are really good, but I don't think I can defeat that cav. I don't think I'm gonna get there fast enough for it to matter anyway. Yeah, that cav is just so hard to zone out, and he's still got so much of it. Like, that's a lot of Lancers for this late stage of the game. Although, you get to see their new mounts and their new textures and stuff. Sons of Feanor look a dashing, and they kick a lot of ass. I do have a decent amount of spears, but I won't be able to defend all angles with what I have still remaining to me. And there we go. Now he's just going to reform. I might as well just slow it down. There's no point now. We'll walk. Yeah, there's the admit defeat. He's got a decent amount of his bodyguard still remaining. I have a lot of my bodyguard too, and they're quite good. My axe units should do well against his footmen, as they're a tier above and their damage is just awesome. They just have so much friggin' damage. It's just that cav. How do I stop that cav? I don't have any of my missiles left. If only I'd have saved my Kuthalim. Like, having full ammo on Kuthalim, I'd be able to pick these knights off. I could just form a wall around my Kuthalim and just like bully his cavalry, but fortunately I thought I turned off fire at will. I was like 90% sure that I did, but apparently I did not. As a result, it got wasted on something stupid, I'm sure. So big oof. Big oof. I mean, I could be a shite and try and go up here, but he'll never attack me. I don't really want to win that way. So what I can try and do is pull him into a fight in here, limit his cavalry's ability to maneuver, and then I can just block them off. We'll see if he takes that, though. He probably won't. He'll probably wait for me to come to him. Which I don't really want to do, but... Everyone else, I can move them up, like into here. And this is where we would want to fight. If we can. Yeah, he's just got so much left. 25 there. 60 there, well over half the unit. He's gonna fall back too. Can't say I blame him. A friend of yours crashes regularly playing Silmarillion Total War. Do you know what his problem could be? If he's crashing regularly, then it could be a result of his computer just not being real good and him trying to kind of live above his means in terms of what his computer can handle. So if he's trying to do like 8-man games and he's on a computer that can't really handle it, then you're gonna crash. He could also try turning his graphical settings down. If you're trying to play games with really high graphical settings and you're getting consistent crashes, well, then that's a problem with, one, your hardware, because I'm playing on, like, my recording settings, like, things have shadows. But yeah, it's probably a hardware problem if that's what he's having. You can always look in his crash log, which you could find in the Medieval 2 directory down at the bottom. I wonder if I could do this. Move out of here. Move these guys up like so. And move them up here. Definitely want to get them up here. I can try and use the stakes to block him off. At least then we don't have to sit there like an idiot waiting for our opponent to make a move. If you're still having problems and you have a good PC, Safi, it could come down to your operating system. Older games like this don't run as well on Windows 10, and you can sometimes get some crashes. I personally play on 7 because that is, I think, optimal. And it runs the older games well, so it could be a combination. Is he really gonna run away? Alright, whatever. I mean, he wants to bait me out there, but I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that any more than he didn't want to move into this choke point. go. We'll tighten this up. I guess we're all not running when I need you to run. Get these guys in behind. Might be able to cause a rout here. That'd be crazy.
For the moment, the fortune of battle goes our way. Let's pray it remains as such.
Thingol and his retinue might be able to pin them down. Oh, we are breaking them here. Oh my god, are we going to pull out a win? I would be shocked. Let's move them over here and try and assassinate his general. We might be able to pull this off. These guys just continuously move over here. Yeah, everyone just needs to defend the back lines. We might be able to do this. How did our Axemen do? Oh, they did really well against Sons of Feanor, but that is kind of what they're weak against. Just collapse inwards on them there. If they try to punch through, we'll have another line of spearmen waiting for them. Look at my one axe guard here. Let's send him at the Otorn. Maybe we'll be able to turn around in time. Probably not. Oh, we might get a charge there. That'll probably kill them off. I'll go after those hunters now. Isn't it better to fight in tight formation? I always see you fighting loose. Sometimes it's not. With spearmen especially, you'll find that cavalry will run right into like a net of spears essentially, and it'll limit the amount of damage that they can do. Oh, these guys turn around in time? They might. And then the cavalry will find themselves being surrounded and attacked on all sides. So it is a little bit more efficient, especially when you're trying to like zone people out for that reason. But you'll also notice that it takes up more space, so you're more likely to like hit cavalry, and they're less likely to be able to get around you. And when we're fighting in like tight quarters like this, that is especially the case. I want you guys to come this way. There we go. I'm shocked that we came out on top in this. I guess our infantry was just a bit too much for his. Like, we lost a decent amount of axemen there, but the footmen of Amros, I think, were probably a little bit more tired. And all those defenders of Aglon, too. I think, I didn't quite see it, but maybe you guys did. But, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that my heavy axemen, my warriors, managed to get the charge bonus off against the defenders of Aglon. And they didn't get a charge bonus in return, so we managed to deny them that extra damage, which would have thinned out my axemen. Because my axemen only took about 13 casualties from that, so I think that that's the most logical thing there, is that we were able to kind of utilize the shock nature of our axe infantry, and we were able to smash our way through to a victory. It was a close one, though. Uruk did well. I mean, like, he definitely chose the terrain reasonably well. Like, we went in here and we wanted to like bait him into a fight, but he wasn't gonna take it, which was smart. So then we pushed out into the field, and tried to use this to our advantage. So he tried to move a little bit farther forward to pull us in here, where there's like no stakes on either side. He can use his cavalry, but his cavalry wasn't close enough to his infantry, I think, to end up really making a difference. Like, we managed to keep them zoned out for quite a while, and after we did that, like, the infantry fight surprisingly went into our favor, and I think a lot of that comes down to eliminating so much of his remaining killing power with our warriors of Region. And denying them that charge as well. So we just were able to use our lower numbers a little bit more efficiently, I guess. And that's kind of what pulled us out a win. Warriors here might wipe these guys out in a charge. Yeah, I might not get the general because he's got a lot of HP, but we'll follow that up. These guys are all like spearmen and stuff, so they should deal with the mounted company pretty efficiently. Got one dude left. We managed to wipe out those hunters there. So it was a close fight for sure. I wonder if it'll give us the percentages. No, it won't. That's alright. There goes the Sons of Feanor general, and that should make these guys break. Yeah, it should. The last guys remaining. If we look at the damage here, yeah. I think they also had a bit of support. No, we managed to get in there with our axemen and just like scythe through the front line, which would have been like a third of the unit. Also fatigue, yeah. Fatigue would have played a big part in that. Let's go ahead. Save that replay. Let's take a look at some of our kills there. Kuthalim did well, 203. Warriors did predictably very well. Axguard all performed to expectation. Axemen of the Girdle did really well. We managed to wipe out one of their most important units, the Sons of Olfang. We denied them a charge as well, because we got them stuck on some spearmen who held them in place while we pew-pewed them. Rangers did okay. You don't usually need them for like getting damage. They're just there to pick at things. Mounted Company did well. Yeah, I mean, Doriath they're pretty solid, and we had a lot of good engagements there as well. But the Easterlings can be a tough faction to fight, and you saw that we did struggle there a little bit. Let's go ahead and we'll save that. I know, Sappy. I always click R. Let's see. Maybe we can get one other game going on here. Amon Arab isn't really the best map. It's good for scenarios, but not really for competitive games. Non-Tothran, I think, is a new one that I don't think I've actually showed that off to the public, so I'd like to try that out. We'll do Non-Tothran. I don't know who we're gonna play this time. Probably not Doriath, because I don't really want to play the same thing over and over again. I haven't played Angband in a really long time. I've definitely played more Tolan Gowdhoth than I have Angband, so let's do that. Maybe Scouts and I will do a 1v1 or something. That could be a fun matchup. Angband versus the Easterlings. I think that might be something in Angband's favor, but we'll make an army that's like, we won't do like a tryhard army. Like I won't bring double Mangonel or something awful like that and try and snipe him out. We'll do it the old-fashioned way. We'll give it a few minutes. We'll see if anyone else joins, and then Scouts and I will do a 1v1 game. In the meantime, why don't we build an interesting army that would be good against the Easterlings. So they're going to have a ton of halberds. Their halberds are way better than ours. But ours have numbers, which is always a nice thing. And so whatever we put on that front line is probably going to die alongside them. So we maybe won't put anything that is actually important to us. The Ravagers will be needed. We'll take a few of them. We'll take some Cav and we'll actually upgrade them a bit. Throw some Wretches in there for a little bit of support. Let's see. I think Spear Guard would be a good thing to mix in with our Halberdiers. And that forms a really durable front line. Bring some Guardians. Bring some Reavers here. Mostly to die. We'll take a couple of them. Our bodyguard will be the Bulldogs. A couple of Arbalists. And let's see here. We have 800. What can we buy with 800? Could get myself a nice little Ballista and make him come to me. No, we won't do that. What we'll do instead is bring... Oh, we have Jervis coming. Okay, so we'll rethink that then. Let's bring in some of our other testers as well. Got a bunch of people online. Give me time. Let's take a look at chat. Should I get Silm? I think you should, but you're asking the lead developer, so I'm probably a little bit biased. So I'll give you a little bit more of a nuanced answer. Yes, I think you should get it because I think it offers an alternative to the Cav and Missile meta that is Reforged. I think that it would be a nice refreshing change to have factions not have every weapon type in the game and have each weapon type have meaningful nuances between them rather than just being kind of the weapon being more aesthetic than it is practical. I think there's a lot going on for it. There's like the factions are interesting and heavily specialized, but at the same time there's also a lot of different ways to play them. So yes, I think you should try it. Also, we have cool vegetation. Also, yeah, it's free, so there's that. You can have Silmarillion alongside any other mods that you want from Medieval 2, so why not, right? Give it a shot, see if it's your thing. And if it's not, well, that's alright. That's right. Vegetation is like the most important part of this mod. All that other stuff that I just mentioned, like, don't even sweat it. Our cool trees are what you really want to play Silmarillion for. What did you guys think about the last game? For those of you that were involved in it, it was an interesting game. I think that our terrain, like our starting terrain, allowed us a lot of like a fairly decent advantage over our opponent. We were able to kind of split him up, and we were able to go for some really good like flanking kind of opportunities against his halberd line, which is really important when you're fighting against the Easterlings with a faction like Doriath. Is that you just want to overwhelm them. And get in to the flanks, get in behind, because that's how you're going to beat down those halberd units. And we saw that they cut through our spearmen from the front, although our spearmen held them up for a very long period of time, tired them out for sure. But yeah, it was an interesting game. I didn't think that we'd be able to beat the Sons of Feanor, but I think, well, I went over the reasons why we beat them. But honestly, the fact that we managed to deny them the charge. And we're able to zone out their cavalry. Like, basically, that's not a fight the Sons of Feanor could win. Yeah, I can see that, Scouts. Largely because, like, archers are pretty specialized to, pick on things like my warriors, for example, that, like, don't have shields, but also don't have incredibly huge armor. Light infantry can fall prey to archers pretty easily. Which is why I think that the Philothro needs some of the additions that we talked about on stream, so that they don't have to rely so heavily on the archers, which are, like I mentioned, are really specialized and not useful in every situation. And one of the situations that they can struggle in is fighting the Sons of Feanor, who have heavily armored and shielded units. So, yeah, I agree. I can definitely see that they wouldn't perform well in that matchup, which is why they'll be getting some additions that would coincidentally be specifically useful against heavily armored factions like that. But it was fun because we got to play with like a sort of not prototypical Doriath army, right? Like, I didn't have much cavalry. I had one unit of cav, which I managed to use to like bully two separate units of Easterling Salamandrine Guard. I was able to kind of pick on some of his infantry as well. Some of the Marauders of Himring. I was able to get some good value for some charges off of them. Some charges into the side of some of his infantry. Like, we were able to use our resources really, really efficiently and effectively as well, which certainly contributed to our victory over the Easterlings. Oh no! They're teaming up against me. How terrible. It's because I'm Angband, isn't it? Just want to pick on the orcs. I might be able to convince one of our other testers to come in and maybe place the Sons of Feanor again so we can get another look at them. Ah, it's too late for him. Also doesn't help that that Troy just came out and is actually free for everybody who wants it. But in the meantime, it does give us a little bit of time to talk. If you guys want to ask about the new Haladin faction, I'm here and I'm ready to chat. Anyone beat the Angband comp with halberds? Yes, I did. I beat it with House of Ingolfin. Shortly after they first came out, actually. Let's see here. We could play as that Angband build if you guys are curious. Now, it has been nerfed a little bit on the test build, so you can't quite bring it to the same strength as it was. But he did use a mid-tier heavy build like that, with a lot of halberds and things like that, and I was able to beat it with the House of Ingolfin. The House of Haladin have magic carpets. Absolutely. You guys don't know about the magic carpets used by the House of Hador during the First Age? Or the House of Halath, rather? Plebeians. Let's see. So if we were to make that build, it would probably look something like this. Legionnaires for the front line. Axemen for the wings. We won't bring all 4 of them. Oh, we can only bring 3. Well, there you go. Some more Axemen to shuffle around. Some wretches because they're nasty. Actually, we might not even need wretches. Bring 2 spear guard. Bring 2 Arballists as well. And that would be our mid-tier heavy army. I think we can probably upgrade these guys too. Not quite. 10 is better. Yeah, we'll go with that. And that would be like the current mid-tier heavy army that you can use. You've got a crap ton of orcs. You've got like 700 halberds. You've got an untold number of infantry. You've got lots of spears. You've got all kinds of nasty tools to ward off cavalry, including missiles, expendable shock troops, etc., etc. Yeah, you can have some really nasty stuff. But that's not what we're going to play with. Am I sure that I've beaten it before? Yeah, I definitely am. I did that one on stream too. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I did that on stream. I think I managed to beat his 3 pike build with Ingolfin as well. Hmm. I might be able to pull Stuart Dale in here. That would be lovely. Good, Stuart's coming. He's going to be on my team. Yahoo! So we'll be able to get a nice little 2v2 going on here. Alright. So Stuart shouldn't be too long. And then, let's see who we're going to be playing against. We're going to be playing against Doriath. I'm pretty confident in Angband's ability to beat Doriath from the front. But it depends on what Rex plans to do. Sometimes he'll just, like, bull rush charge me. Oh, he's probably in here, isn't he? No, he hasn't typed anything for a while. But sometimes he will, like, bull rush charge me, like, straight down the pipe. And that would be disastrous for Doriath. But you can do some pretty sneaky stuff with Doriath. Like, if you deliberately isolate and attack a wing and then just try to roll up the line, it can throw people into chaos and panic. And we've definitely seen Artorias use that against me when I was playing the Philothrum in previous streams, and it worked quite well. So the same applies to Angband. That being said, there are ways to shut it down and be a problem. But we have lots of tools in order to deal with that as Angband, so we'll see what happens here. Ah, nice. The Eternal Bros here, Sauron and Morgoth. And so we're going to be playing against Doriath. So let's think here. Probably necessary. Bring the standard lineup here. And I think that will also be needed. We'll do these guys, and we'll have a nice little second line here. Oops, we need to up the money, don't we? Okay, let's fix that first. Whoops. Alright, now these was with quite a lot. So bulldogs are important. And I guess it really comes down to our approach here. So we could play with a couple of arbalists. Wolf riders are a nice thing to have. A couple of wretches. That's our front line. That's our supporting units. And now we're going to need some flankers as well. So this will be nice to have. And then I think we could go some Uruloki. They're a little bit limited, though, in what they can do against Doriath. Being said, maybe... No, they're too expensive. We'll need the wretches, though. If we're going to have our spear gun on our front line, we do need the wretches. We've got a second line there as well. Maybe an extra unit of halberds would be nice. We could drop the armor on them, and then we could afford that. If we were to drop that completely, I could upgrade. No, I wouldn't be able to do that. Upgrade their attack at the very least. We've got numbers. We've got our support. Don't have enough, like, kind of flanking units, though. But our center should be really strong. So, you know what? We'll try that out. We will see how that goes. It might be a disaster. Who knows? Yeah, it could be the Easterling build that remains undefeated, although I think I played against them as Fingolfin in another game, and I managed to beat them. I think I've managed to beat most of his builds with Fingolfin or with other factions. They're not indestructible. They are certainly tough, but they are beatable. Ooh. Alright, so we're just waiting on Stewart. What role should or do the Balrogs play? They have a couple of things that they do really well. They actually very ably buff the morale of nearby Orcish units by a significant amount. So one of the big weaknesses of Angband is that they don't respond well to morale shocks. Morale shock is when a unit takes a certain percentage of individual as casualties over a certain period of time. And it can drop the morale very, very quickly and cause mass routes. So that's one of the big downsides, say, of one of the more popular mid-tier heavy builds that I was speaking about earlier. The Balrogs do help mitigate that to a fairly significant extent. They can also countercharge cavalry, which are the main cause of a lot of morale shocks in the game. So they're a fantastic support unit. You can use them to spearhead assaults. They will be becoming elephants, which is something I talked about on Scout stream, and that comes with certain things like area attacks, so they can do multiple casualties with a single swing. But that won't really alter their role too much. So they're solid support units. You can use them to spearhead assault. You can use them to blunt cavalry charges, to ward off cavalry from even getting close to you in the first place, etc., etc. And they also buff morale. So they can do a lot of things for you, which is kind of important because of how small our rosters are. I come back to this a lot, but I like it when things are as polyvalent as possible, so that you can have... Oh, I remember this place. I did actually a free-for-all on this one. Oh, I really like this map. So that you can have a large number of manners of playing a faction and compositions that you can use in order to achieve victory. Like, be competitive with multiple comps, not just like trying new stuff for fun, but actual competitive compositions with the smallest amount of pieces possible. Let's see here. We might want to pull back just a little bit, because if we do that, well, I don't want to say, because I know Scouts is on stream, so I don't know. We'll figure out what we're gonna do here. But that's a very scary front line that we've created for ourselves. You lads are where you need to be. And I'll block them off. I want to keep our macemen from getting charged down by cavalry. So we'll have some wretches there. Another group of them here, and they're really just to get in the way for the most part. Pop that all into one group. These guys can be in the back, and they'll be supporting our wargs. And then finally, we have a little bit of support for the wretches here as well, and these can potentially be used as an anti-cavalry option, as shock infantry, especially numerous shock infantry, can usually take like 1 or 2 good charges from a cavalry unit before they start to really like struggle and get into issues. So we're actually gonna have these guys as sort of like a separate phalanx. I think that might actually be a really smart thing to do. And then of course we have our Udaloki. Now the Udaloki are super good at dealing with light infantry with their fire. But in order to have a counter to how strong that unit can be, heavy infantry and heavily shielded infantry don't really take a whole lot of damage, at least not from the front. And that should do. We are running a little bit of a risk here by deploying kind of where we are. But also what we want to do is, well, I won't say just yet. Maybe what I could do is actually send some assistance over this way, because I don't really need them as much. I've got lots of reserves, and of course I got my cavalry and other things like that too. Alright, let's start it up. Oof. Yeah, it could be only Angband that I haven't been able to beat yet, but that's not because I haven't been able to beat them, that's just because we never really got around to trying. But I think that House of Fingolfin can probably do that really well. The pikes are a direct counter to halberds in a lot of ways. They won't kill off a ton of them, but like the fact that they outrange them is what really matters there. And the melee defense on halberds, especially orcish halberds, is quite low, so they will get poked to death by pikes. Yeah, there's a lot of things that the House of Fingolfin has, and that they will get in the near future, that pose problems for Angband. In particular, the legendary company that they'll get, being Fingon's archers, is really good at like sniping out Balrogs and Urloki in particular, before they're even able to engage, or at the very least weakening them. Yeah, so what we'll do with these guys, because I don't know if Scout's still here, so I'm going to talk in the like vaguest language possible, is we're going to do a bit of an oblique with our ally. And for those of you that know what that is, excellent. For those of you that don't, I can't explain it to you just now because I'll give away the game. Actually, the cool thing about this... Okay, so he's got Cav out here. Let's kind of see what Rex ends up doing. Yeah, the defensive geometry I think is going to play into Stewie's comp just a little bit because he's got his Mangonel here. So we're not in any hurry. We don't actually need to rush forward and take on Doriath right now. So we can kind of sit pretty and kind of see what the result of Steward's ambitions here are. Let's see what Doriath wants to do here. Okay, so his cavalry are actually retreating, and he may have some hidden lancers over there. So we will move forward just a bit. And we're also going to bring a unit of wretches over that direction as well. It looks like he's moving to support his ally into double team ours, so we're going to go forward. For sure. Move and quickly get these guys into position. And I do expect that there could be some of his lancers in place here, and that might be why he's rushing back so quickly. So what he's going to do is he's going to try and hold us off in here, and that gives him good access to help out his ally. But I think with the right amount of aggression, we can do just fine. Let's see what happens here. Might be able to put ourselves in here, and that should, at the very least, stop him moving troops over here completely unopposed. And he'll have to like stop and kind of think about it. And the more troops that he moves over, the more we'll advance and be more aggressive. Get my wretches over here. Yeah, see, I thought there might be some support. What we can definitely do, kind of make his life a little bit more difficult, is actually move some of our arbalists up, and then we can bully him out of position. We actually got some other wretches that are up here, which can be detached and brought forward, because they are expendable. They're super expendable. Oh crap, things are already going down up here. Let's move to support our ally. Get these guys up on the line as quickly as possible. Stewie is usually very impetuous when it comes to games like this, so it's not uncommon to see him. Push these guys here, and wait for wretch support. It's not uncommon to see him rush and be aggressive this way. Swing these guys over this way in response. So we need to get in here and like set up and start to push with our ally. I didn't realize that he was going to rush forward that way. Oh shit. It's fine, we'll take the charge. We'll move for a surround. Where are my arbalists? They're definitely in there. I'll let them fire as we retreat. We actually don't need both of our units of cav here, so we can start to... Oh, no, we can't actually just get them over there so easily. We might have to just deal with the troops that are here. Run them back this direction. We can have these guys move up here independently with Arbalist support. I'll bring some of these guys over here as well. And Ravengers can move up. Not too far. And these guys can go up here as well. Yeah, see, Stewie's getting himself wrecked here. Rushing the Easterlings without waiting for me to be in position was a bad idea, so I think we might be in some trouble. Doesn't really have much of an army left, so we actually need to get back here and try and reform around his remnants. That's the only way we're going to be effective. But yeah, it's not the first time that Stewart has rushed forward and got his head lopped off for his trouble. It's unfortunate. Yeah, see, he wasn't even really in much of a position to use his cavalry, so I don't know how he expected to win that one. I should be able to pull them out of there now. My Arbalists will be able to just rake these guys. Well, he's kind of bringing it back a bit, actually. Surprising. we'll force his hand here and eliminate this cavalry at the very least. See, I'm expecting him to see it and turn around, so we'll do this instead. What are we doing here? Oh, things are starting to swing against scouts a little bit. It's a nice little trick you can use with the towers there. It's kind of cool. I like it. Get these guys out of here. And go for some nice cavalry charges against some of these units over here. It's probably a better use of our cav at this point. Another wretch unit up through here. Just keep these guys moving forward. Pin these important units in place and really pick on them hard. Let's see how far that gets us. We'll make them turn around here again. Yeah, we're not going to walk into that, not foolishly. We'll make them stretch themselves out. Make him turn around again. There we go. We'll be able to surround them. Should be able to like blunt the charge here with these guys too. Yeah, we are beating them pretty badly. Move these guys up. Get our cav out of there. Push these guys back out. His cav's now down to about 10 men. We'll just continue to hold them in place with the wretches. We'll bring this unit up over this direction. So we've overwhelmed those guys. I don't know what the hell's going on over here, but you need to figure your crap out. We have all of our arbalists shredding these guys. I think your axe guard can stop me, do you? They cannot. My bulldog should make just quick work of them. Here's here fighting against the spear host. My ally is cleaning things up. We should have this in the bag. Uh-oh. Outriders. Didn't even see him coming. I have more Ravagers over here just sitting around doing nothing. Nice. Having those Outriders is actually a good... That's a pretty nice move, actually. And we can start to move some units to counter them over that direction. Our troops here are overwhelming these guys. And we're kind of picking apart what's left. Halberdiers here are having a hard time. These guys are close enough that it should be okay. Yeah, the Bulldogs should hopefully keep them in line. Well, you guys haven't even begun to shoot yet. I definitely told you guys to run. Okay, we should be able to get around here. Alright, they're going after them, that's fine. I still have my general. Kind of. My Bulldogs really did take a bit of a beating there, but they did manage to hold off the Axe Guard, which is important. Shot here might be enough to finish these guys off. Alright. That was a pretty close one. I was surprised that the Easterlings got kind of beat on as bad as they did, but it seems like the initial charge managed to like sweep kind of steward back, and there was like a lot of routing and some other nasty stuff. Having my halberds obviously helped kind of stabilize that area, but yeah, I think ultimately he pushed like really far and then ended up getting surrounded, and that's kind of what finished it off. Oh my god, this fight is still going on. Those freaking Spear Guard have just been carving their way through wretches for quite some time. These more Marauders. Oh, that's the low tier units. We'll go charge into them. finish those guys off. Didn't even get a chance to use a lot of our crossbow ammunition. That's unfortunate, but they do tend to get focused. Kuthalim are hanging out down here. I think we managed to use like a third of one of our crossbows on the Kuthalim to weaken them. Yeah, that was a tough one. A lot of mid-tier units in the center there also got massacred. Yeah, I mean, it's just cleaning up at this point, isn't it? Yeah, sometimes they can be a bit finicky, but I actually altered the axes, the throwing axes, to have the same firing arc as javelins. So if javelins will shoot, so will the throwing axes. Is Angban's Spear Guard getting a nerf because they're doing their job too well? I don't think so. I think they're doing exactly their job just fine. I brought them specifically instead of Legionnaires on my front line because there's a lot of mid-tier, mid-range fire that can come out of Doriath. And they've got those heavy bowmen, which can be a big problem, especially when it comes to like delaying a flank, and they're really accurate and they have high velocity and just hit really hard. So I stacked my center line with things that could be resistant to missile fire. I don't think that's them doing their job too well. I think that's doing exactly what they're supposed to. I honestly totally forgot that my Urloki existed too. Ended up not really being needed in that game. We'll save the review because why not? The replay, you know. We're saving it for review. How do I determine to nerf or buff certain units? As long as I look at kind of what they're doing, if they're like performing their job well in a vacuum, that's good. But I also tend to take a larger picture into account. Why the Freud do the dragons have multiple heads? That's an easy one. Just because we were using the dragon model from Botet, so we use their Hydra, and because also why not? There's nothing that says that the dragons can't or don't have multiple heads. But yeah, when it comes to like, no, Vorbak won't be getting a nerf based on Captain's action. One of the things that you have to kind of take into account when you are balancing a mod is that sometimes people get salty, and just kind of their emotional reactions isn't something that you want to consistently play to. The best thing you can do is to try and get as much information and feedback as possible, and to also play with things for yourself, and to, you know, take all of that into account when you make decisions. So no, based on, you know, one instance where it sounds like the Vorbak were doing exactly what they're supposed to do, then I don't see why I would nerf them. I take a larger account into the equation. Like, is it, for example, if Angban had a cavalry unit that was, you know, performing as well as Tolan Gaudahoth's cavalry, then obviously that's something that is outside their specialization, that doesn't really conform to the concept for the unit, because their works are just supposed to be there to be irritating, and to help zone things out rather than kill them outright, which we struggled to do. Like two of our cavalry fighting one unit of his mounted company were not having an easy go of it because they're not good. If that was the case, and they were performing well in like every area, then obviously changes would happen. But no, I don't just nerf stuff because, you know, one game someone was incredulous. But I think that'll probably do for now. We've definitely been streaming for, nearly 2 hours. So I think that's probably a good place to cut it off. If you guys have any more questions regarding the mods, regarding the direction, regarding game balance, whatever it happens to be, please fire them my way. If you guys are watching the stream after this has already ended, then feel free to hit me up on the Discord. I'm pretty easy to find. You just have to find our Silmarillion Total War Discord, which I will get y'all a copy of right now. Just give me a second here. There you go. What about his comp in the public build? It's actually really strong in the public build because it's just you're looking at like nearly 4,000 orcs that you have to carve your way through, and a lot of them have armor upgrades and they're just really scary, and a lot of factions just don't have the longevity necessary to win that kind of battle of attrition. So that's how it wins. Plus there's a lot of halberds in it. I think he goes with 4 halberds, but we've increased the red price of halberds on the closed alpha, so you can't really do that anymore. But he would go with the 4 halberds plus the detachment, maybe even 2 detachments depending on the cost. So you end up with like between 900 and 1,000 halberds, and that's a lot for anybody to face, especially if you don't have pole arms of your own. So it is a really good build. It's very, very slightly nerfed in that you can't bring as many halberds on the closed alpha build, but it's still a viable one. I built one earlier that could very easily be a scary build for the elves to fight because there's just so much armor, right? And not everyone has the means to deal with armor and numbers very well. Naturally, there are downsides to it. If you only have bulldogs for support, you can't be everywhere at once with them, so anyone who manages to kind of separate bits from your army can gobble them up quickly. If you lose your general, obviously you'll melt in just moments. Like you could have a mass rout with like 3,000 or 4,000 units if you lose your general in a bad time. Stuff like that. So it is a good build. There are downsides to it, and it's only been very slightly nerfed because I don't like to nerf builds just because they're good. Again, that's going back to like Warback Gashutar and stuff like that. Just because something is performing well doesn't mean it needs to be nerfed. So yeah, it's a good build. I recommend trying it out on the public build, and you can kind of see for yourself. Basically, you're just bringing all the Iron Crown units you can, as many halberds as you can, bulldogs, and you fill in the rest with whatever you feel you need. And yeah, it's a strong comp. Big time strong. Yeah, when you're packing over 1,000 halberds, it's a bit much. Now you can have 700 halberds instead of, nearly 1,000. Or you can go a little bit higher if you're willing to pay the price for it. And it's still pretty decent. So there's options around what you can build with Angband on the closed alpha, since the price changes to the red price to halberds for Angband, but yeah, they're still strong. Obviously, we did really well there against Doriath, so but yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this so far, and I hope you join me for our next stream. Again, if you guys have any questions, our Discord is there in the description. It's pretty easy to find me, and you can always shoot me a message either on our Discord or in PMs. I'm fine to answer questions in either. So I hope you guys have enjoyed this, and I'll see you next time.